Hi, I'm Shantia Green here speaking with John Doyle about the senior play. How are you?
Doing just fine.
Okay. What is the name of the play?
So this year's senior play is actually two different plays. So we're doing a night of Shakespeare comedy. The first half of the night, like the first act of the play essentially, is going to be Pyramus and Thisbe, which is Shakespeare's takeoff on his own play Romeo and Juliet from Midsummer Night's Dream. And then the second half is a play that I produced with my theater company, Iron Age Theater, in 2005, from a play called Shakesploitation, and it's called Hamlet, Burning Fist of Denmark. And it's a kung fu retelling of the story of Hamlet, and it's a big, giant comedy.
That sounds awesome. How can someone join our audition for the play?
So the auditions are going to be on Tuesday the 12th, I guess is the date, next week. And after school, there's also auditions on Thursday the 8th, but this airs before then. So anyone who hears this interview would come on that Tuesday. And all people will need to do is show up and read some text and essentially do some exercises that I'll work with them to see if they're able to sort of do the kind of comedy that the play demands.
Okay, so they don't need certain talents to be in the play?
They need to be talented, but they don't need certain talents. But if they can juggle, I might hire them more than if they just stand still. It's a comedy, and it's a big, broad comedy. Both of them are. And so it's not about being subtle or quiet or dramatic. It's about being able to be goofy, in control. Follow me? So as a director, I want to see someone who can go crazy as long as when I say I need 10% of that crazy gone, they can do it.
Okay. So if someone doesn't want to try out for a role but wants to be a part of it, can they do offstage work?
So this particular production provides a lot of opportunity for that. There's a ton of costumes and props and set that needs to sort of be developed along the way. And that means we need backstage help handing people props and keeping order and controlling all that. We'll need someone to run sound, someone to run lights, and the set for the Hamlet play is giant projections from old kung fu films. And so I need someone to run those projections, to find the images. So there's tons of jobs for people to do if they don't want to be a performer and still want to be part of this production.
Okay, and who all will see this play?
So my hope is lots of people from the Norristown community as well as the high school. We run it at the Center Theater, so this is going to be just like the dessert theater we did at the beginning of the year. And so we'll run 2 or 3 performances, probably 3 performances. And the date of the shows is currently in flux because of the lateness of our start, because of the way the drama club didn't start at the beginning, everything's set back by about a month. And that means we run into Mr. Norristown, and that's a problem. We also run into the senior banquet. So we're looking for a date to do it, but it'll be 3 days over a weekend at the Center Theater at 208 DeKalb Street in Norristown. And we're advertising to the community in Norristown to come see it, and we're going to advertise here in the school, so hopefully students from the school come down into town and watch it, and then maybe go to Just Java for coffee afterwards or before, or go down the street and have sushi at August Moon, or maybe get tacos right around the corner from us at what is probably the best taco place in Norristown. So there's like great places to go around the show. We want to get people down there and let them see what real theater feels like.
Okay, that sounds like fun. How can someone get in contact with you?
So, part of me says I don't want people to get in contact with me because I don't need all the extra emails, but they can contact me at jdoyle@nasd.k12.pa.us. And that address will go to my school email account, and I can answer stuff from there. I don't want people to call me, but if they wanted to call the comm center, they could call 610-630-5098. But that's never for emergencies because that's essentially an unmanned phone. So we only get messages. So if someone needed me more urgently, email is probably the safest way to go.
Okay.
There is something else I want to add, in fact. So good. I'm glad you were going to ask me that. I want to tell a little about the play itself. Pyramus and Thisbe is a series of Shakespeare comedy monologues that take off on the story of Romeo and Juliet. And the Center Theater did a play called The Fantastics about a year ago, and The Fantastics actually uses the same jokes in it. So it's a very contemporary modern thing. That's for some of the stronger actors because they're really doing true Shakespearean language. The Kung Fu Hamlet is if you know Hamlet, it's extra hilarious. If you don't, it's funny. If you know Kung Fu films, it's really funny. But we'll be staging and choreographing big on-stage Kung Fu fights, and people are wearing massive wigs, and it's a big, giant, ridiculous event. So if you like any of that stuff, it's both good to be a part of, and it's also great to come see. The comedy is very broad, so it's much more like the Marx Brothers. It's much more like the Marx Brothers than it is like some contemporary comedy. It's more like the comedy of it feels more like satire, something like The Hangover or something like that, than it does feel like some old style comedy.
Okay. Why did you choose this play?
Okay, so that was really a hard choice. There's a couple reasons. The first reason is it provides me a big cast. So Hamlet Burning Fist of Denmark's about 12 characters, and there's 6 or 7 in Pyramus and Thisbe. That gives me almost 20 kids we can work with, and there seemed to be a lot of interest in the show. It also means they're all small parts. And so for seniors who are actively involved with lots of activities, they can have a part in the show and participate, but I can arrange the rehearsals so that you might only need to be there Monday and Wednesdays of any week instead of a 4 or 5 day rehearsal week. Until we get to the end, when we're running the shows in order, we'll be able to actually have people work in little groups. And so it allows me to use a lot of people with small parts. And so, there's people who want to audition who might just stink, right? But I'd still like them to be a part of it. So I can work someone to be a good actor in a 10-line role. But if all the roles are 50 or 75 lines, then I run into real trouble training them. So this allows me to work with more novice actors as well as the good actors to develop a play that's fun for everybody, but also gives everyone an opportunity and an easy rehearsal schedule. Because just working here at the high school lets me know how often you guys can't do something because of work. So if I can say you're only going to rehearse Mondays and Wednesdays with me in the evenings, then you'll be able to work your work schedule. But if I said you had to rehearse 4 days or 5 days a week, people aren't going to come out for the show or be able to do it. And I don't want that to happen.
Okay. Do you have to pay to see the play?
So you do have to pay, and I don't know how much we're charging yet, but normally the rate's somewhere in the $10 range for one of these things that the high school puts on, and that's probably around where it will be. It's well worth it. The last time I ran the show, when I did it with my professional company, we did it at the Center Theater. I guess it was in 2007 we did the reboot of it. And we sold 120 seats each night, which is over our capacity, and we were charging $20 a ticket then. So it's well worth coming to see, and the kids I've met so far who are looking to do the show are great. So it should be a really good time.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, I think I'm covered then. I think that's great, so thank you.
Okay. Thank you for being here. I'm Shantia Green here speaking with John Doyle about the senior play. Now back to Eagle's Eye.